Knowing we're gonna move, body's gonna feel good. So just let these deep breaths flow. Like maybe we haven't really had good deep breaths all day so far. So just let yourself have a couple of those right here. Take just a quick moment to connect with our intention. Today will be a bit about arm and shoulder strengthening and stretching. So there'll be lots of goodies that helps us become stronger and helps us to ease some of the tension out of the shoulders. So when I was thinking about this intention of shoulders, I was thinking about how we're starting to just get toward the edge of feeling some of the changes in the air, especially the morning air is starting to get a little colder. We're starting to take some of those transition kind of sensations in the air heading toward fall. So as I think of fall, I think of how the leaves of the trees, they were useful all summer, and now the tree doesn't need it anymore. So eventually it will let go. And so often we have such a hard time letting go of things in our life. So I wanted that to be our intention today, just kind of thinking of what is a leaf in your life, something that you're holding on to that's no longer useful. And just as we're helping those shoulders out, just like a little leaf eventually getting lost from the tree, we allow ourselves to just let go of whatever our thing is today. So that's our intention that will lead us forward. So with that idea to help lead us into class, let's take some of our initial stretches. The arms extend all the way to the back wall. And start to let the shoulders wiggle to the right. And shoulders wiggle to the left. Just a couple of easy directions to each side. Starting to get the shoulders with their first waking up movement, starting to move into side ribs. Beautiful. So spine back through the center. Let's move into legs. Our right knee comes into our chest. Hug around that knee. Maybe some ankle rolls if there's some tightness in the foot. When you feel ready to move up to hamstring, right leg stretches up to sky. Grab on wherever you can reach, helping right hamstring get its first good stretch of the day. Take another inhale and exhale right here. And start to hook your right heel on the back end of the fabric on the left. The right heel hooks over to the left and then slide the shin in. It ends up being kind of like a pigeon pose. If you're confused, I'll just peek at those that are nearby. Just take a couple of easy breaths, helping this right hip out. One more good inhale. Exhale. Leg frees its way out. Maybe stretch back up to sky. And eventually let that right leg drop all the way down. Working on second side, left chest. Give it a good hug inward. Maybe another ankle roll or two if that's feeling good. Leg extending up to sky when you're ready. Good, easy, deep breaths. Inhale, did you left vertebra? Okay, take it over to the hip opener. So this one's left heel, this is the back right in. Slide the shin in. So one more good inhale. Exhale, this left leg is free. Drop it down. Start to ease the head out of the back end of the fabric. So it's just the head peeking out. And then the arms point to the back wall. Like a swimming action. Kind of scoot some of that fabric under the armpits, under the shoulders. And then arms pointing again toward that back wall. Start to ease toward a shoulder opener and a little bit of back bend. So you get to choose how far you inch down. If you're allowing more of the fabric to slide down your back, that makes it the back bend a little bit deeper. You keep it right under armpits, it's not too intense. So you choose. Let's take 2 more breaths right here. Good. Arms in, chin in. Let's do a roll up all the way to stretch over our 2 legs that are inside the fabric. From here, anchor your right hand down. Left hand circles up to the sky. Let it trace all the way to that back wall. And the arm travels back up to circle its way forward. Good. Second side, circle the arm up to reach back and return forward. Just relax, 2 more breaths, sinking forward like this. Another inhale. Exhale. And then feet kick free off the front. Sitting up normal. So arms come to the back end of the fabric. Thumbs hook onto that back end. This helps to push some of the fabric down toward about where our hands are. You've got that. Lean halfway back like a tabletop, grip back on. And legs go wide as you tilt all the way upside down. Feet wrap around. So wide. You went inside. Go ahead and take it back down. Go wide.
And so inside.
Nope, you went this way.
I know. I'm just, conceptually, I'm just trying to wrap my head around. So I hold on the inside.
Oh.
Hold on the outside.
So sit back up.
And I retard.
Hook your thumbs.
Tell me how to do it.
Hook your thumbs. Push down.
Yes, ma'am.
Lean halfway back and grip back on.
Okay.
Legs wide.
One.
Nope. That's it. And the ankles wrap around.
That's it.
Oh, knees can
right.
softly bend. Yep, and then hands release. So anytime we're in inversions, this is up to you to know how long your body wants to be upside down. So don't feel like you're competing with anybody else. Also know there are some shoulder stretch options here already if you want to take them. One that I really like to do is walk my hands toward the mirror direction of the room as far as you can. Then once you've done that, relax your shoulders down so that you're kind of sinking down into the stretch. It's a little bit of a back bend and a nice shoulder opener. Stay in that if that feels good. There's other options like clasping hands behind your back, just letting the arms fall open into the shoulder stretch. There's little twists you can do, walking hands toward opposing ends of the mat. As long as it feels good for the back. So there's a couple more that are still hanging upside down. That's perfectly fine if you still want to just be dropping down like this. If you're ready to move on to a simple little seated shoulder stretch with feet, then make your way up. We're going to clasp hands behind our back. We're shifting hands to the right hip, and then right ear drops over right shoulder. Just give that side a couple of breaths. Another good inhale. Exhale. Head up. Hands to the left hip, and then left ear over left shoulder. Beautiful. Take another inhale. Exhale. Head up. So we're going to send the legs back inside the fabric. We're even going to lay all the way back down. And then from here, what we're going to do is flip our orientation. So currently we've got our chest facing up to sky. We're going to flip ourselves all the way around until belly is down. So we need to first start off shifting halfway to one side. And then as you start to take the last section, you'll kind of inch your elbows under your torso. And then the hips are kind of the last thing to go. So we're flipped down onto belly. This is kind of awkward, so just take your time. Putting all the way around. Yeah. Okay. So once we're on belly, our next goal is to get to a child pose. So your hips, you use your elbows to help push your hips up. Sink your hips back to your feet, and then let your arms stretch forward like a child pose. The arms still kind of grabbing that back into the fabric.
I feel like a caterpillar coming out of the cocoon.
Those shoulders, another couple of breaths to stretch. Okay. So now come into an easy seated place. So we're kneeling down, our torso is upright, our hands didn't shift, so they're still grabbing onto that back end. Good. So what we're gonna do from here is a little bit of shoulder strengthening, shift from this seated kneeling place to a high kneeling place. So now we've got length up high. So our hands did not let go. Yep. So just lift our hips up, perfect. Now think of this like a roller. We're trying to roll our hands forward. Your arms get to go as far forward as your shoulders have the strength for. And then when you're ready to come back, slide the hands back in. We're back up in that high kneeling position. Try to keep it like a plank from the knees to the shoulders, a nice straight line. And it's the arms that even way forward to that strength. And then when you're ready to come back in, just bring it back. A little bit through shoulders, a lot of it through the core. Good. Take another 5. Back. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Okay. Now the arms go super long if we allow ourselves to drop all the way down onto the bellies. So with the arms really long, another just gentle chance to be with the shoulders. But 2 good breaths right here. And then we're going to take that journey to flip us back around. So use the elbows, use the grip up high, whatever you need to do to flip back around. Good. So we're back in that Shavasana place. And from here we'll head toward Vampire. Vampire is a nice shoulder stretch. Massage rather than stretch. So keep the legs inside, but sit up. This will help us get the fabric where it needs to be on our shoulders. So sitting up, we're taking that back end of the fabric and letting just one thin layer be over the shoulders like a cape. And I don't want all the excess there. So my elbows grab the excess and push it to my waist as I lay my head back. The head should be off the back. Good. So just enough to cover shoulders, not too much excess. So now all this extra that I have at my waist, I need to take down. So step the feet in closer, lift the hips up, and then when you straighten the legs, it shifted all that excess down. Good. So from here, hands grip up high, left and right. Hike the feet up. And then this one's pushing on the inside of the fabric. So I bring left and right feet to the inside of the fabric. I'll turn my toes out just a little bit to help block the heel. And then I push into the fabric to rise upside full shoulder stand. So anybody that wants me to come by to help out, I'm happy to do so. Just the foot placement. Yeah, so not too bad. Not turning out as one. Okay. Yep, got it. Good. Beautiful. So feel the body weight in the shoulders, that nice massage. Just like before, it's up to you how long to be here. So similar to before, there's a couple that are still hanging upside down. If you want to hang a bit longer, go for it. Those that have been out for a while, go ahead and start taking yourself back up to the seated place. I'll add in a nice little shoulder stretch or two. So from sitting here, this time let the right straight arm come forward and across the chest. Left arm just hugs it into a nice little shoulder stretch. If you even want to drop left ear over left shoulder, that's an option. That could feel nice. Good. Take it to the other side. Second arm getting that chance to get full to the shoulder stretch. Have a good inhale. Exhale. Release. And we're going to start making our way up to being outside the fabric. So the easiest way to get out is grab onto each side, left and right. Lift the hips right up and out. Let's take a little shoulder stretch. Our elbows hook. Walk forward. This starts to pull your elbows a little closer. You can even kind of bow forward a little bit, using the shoulders. Let's be here a couple of good breaths. If there's neck tightness, feel free to ease the neck into a nice little neck roll left and right. Nice inhale. Exhale. Take your weight over your body. Free out your arms and just drop down to a nice forward fold. The back muscles, stretch the legs. Good inhale. Exhale. Inhale, rise, circling arms up to sky. And hands to heart. Come back behind the fabric. We're kneeling all the way down. We're just going to take a nice, easy grip of the fabric about as wide as shoulders. And then sitting like a child pose, we ease our upper body forward. We'll start to just let ourselves sway left and right. And go back to stillness right there in the center. See if the heart and the chest can drop down just another half an inch or so. Rolling the spine up. We're going to ease back and forth a couple of times between a quad stretch, turning backwards, even head relaxes back. And then from that grip, lift the hips up, pull yourself up right, and then come into puppy pose. So hips forward, heart arches down. Good. Sitting back like the child pose. Roll your spine up and all the way back. Lift the hips up to ease up to kneeling. Puppy pose. Child pose. Rolling up to sit. Let's take one more. Arch back and back. Grab on, hips high. Puppy pose. Child pose. And back up to sit. Good. So now as we come down to a seated place, let's take our right foot inside the fabric, turn the toes out to lock it in place. That's funky. Yeah, you'll get yourself to the spot where it's like the foot right under plumb line. Otherwise, you can feel it pulling against you and it doesn't feel quite right. So hands are planted behind us. We're gonna do this first one up to 5 times. You could quit earlier after 2 or 3, it's up to you. But the idea is first lifting up to tabletop and then trying to curl that knee into the forehead. Foot drops down, lower down. So up to 5 of those. If you need to kind of lift the wrist up and down a couple of times, that's good. So tabletop, knee, foot, hips. Good. 3, 2, 1. Good. Let that left leg kind of swivel a little bit more open. See if you can grab onto fabric or onto foot with one or both hands. Kind of help that leg ease really, really deep. Yeah, rock back a little bit. It's also just a nice break for those wrists. Good. And start to work their way behind us again. The easy way to switch is from here because we've already got it set up. So just left foot in, right foot down. Good. Taking up to 5, tabletop, knee, and down. It's 4, 3. See if your hips can stay as elevated as possible through the top part. 2, 1. Good. Finish, right leg swivels down. See if you can grab one or both hands up. Maybe rock back to that hamstring stretch. Beautiful. So now you can back down to hands or elbows if needed, if it's too intense on the wrists. We're going to take both feet inside, both toes out. The idea here is bringing the shoulders up in the stretch by lifting the hips high, and then even kind of send the hips forward just a little bit, so it's really flat down. Good, drop them down. Okay, let's take another. So 5 total. So hips up, but then send the heels forward. That's where you get into the stretch. Good, easing down. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Come down to lay down for a moment. Just let your hips rock left and right. Roll our wrists out, especially if you're on our wrist just a moment ago. Legs back to stillness. We'll use eagle's arms to do a little shoulder stretch here. So take the right elbow under the left elbow. Try to get the backs of the hands to touch or palms to wrap around. Shoulders press down away from ears, but then elbows lift up. So it's like we're trying to get the fingers to touch the ground right above the head. So that nice shoulder stretch for a moment. And using the arms open. Second side. This time left elbow is under. Line the palms if you can. Start off with shoulders down away from ears. Then see if the fingers can come to the ground right above our head. Our inhale. Exhale. Unwind the arms, just let the arms lay open on the ground. Enjoy 2 or 3 more breaths here. This is one of those moments of release. So if there's any energy that's going to be released with our exhale, let it go. let's start to take the feet out of the fabric. We'll come our way up to a seated position. It's easy cross leg. So the hands are going to take it like this. The backs of the palms are kind of lifting up to face this front of the fabric, and then just circle through the inside and around to grip once. Good. So from here, we're gonna do a couple of nice pull-ups. So when we lift up, some of us might just be keeping the feet on the ground. That gives us something to push with. Some of us, once you've lifted the hips, you might also try to float the legs for a moment before you go back down. It's up to you how much you wanna do. We're gonna take several reps, nice exhales, inhales. I like to open and close the hands in between each one so it doesn't wear my fingers out. Take it until your arms are like, nope, that was about it. When you reach that point, just straighten your legs when you come up to stand. You guys are doing awesome. Let's add in a couple of nice little stretches for our legs. So right ankle inside. Use toward a hamstring stretch. So some of us might just simply slide the hands down. If you want more of a split, you'll slide the hands up. Start inching your body weight forward. Make sure you're not standing too far behind someone. If you gaze up, you should just be like 2 inches behind. Another good inhale. Exhale. Back. Let's take a little twist. So left hand grabs on right strand, or harder balance, left hand pushes on the outside of right strand. Right hand circles up to sky to take it all the way into the twist back. Good. Return that arm up to go forward. We're going to switch sides, so you can either step this foot out, step the other foot in, or swinging switch, keep a leg locked straight. Step one foot in, the other foot out. Good. Whenever you get there, the hamstring stretch, so maybe slide down, or maybe hands up to sink the weight forward. More inhale, exhale. Weight starts to come back over standing leg. Right hand grabs left or pushes on the outside of left. Left hand circles up to sky, straight back. Stay in the twist. Good. Ease that arm back forward. I'll take this leg out. Good. Okay. So, similar to the arm strengthening we were doing before, the similar wrap, hug around the fabric. Just wrap around once before you grip. So with this one, ultimately where I'm going, I don't want my grip too high, but we are doing a little intermediate step right now. So if you grip higher, it'll be a harder challenge for your arms right now. So it's up to you, but just kind of this intermediate step just to build us up. And some of us, this might be where we're at, but for this spot, we curl the hands in, grip, and then similar to before, curl the knees and then back down. So similar to what we were doing on the ground. Little arm break every time we come down. So again, making it easier would be grip closer to shoulders. Then you don't have to do as much of a pull-up. Good. Synchronize the breath. That way you're not holding the breath when you come up. Let's do maybe 2 more. Okay. So this is ultimately where we're headed now. We're going to try to do the same thing to flip us directly into our hip hang. Those that are not able to do this, and that's 100% okay. If that's the case, you'll just practice the same thing we were just doing a couple more times, and then I'll guide you into the normal downward facing dog way to get there. So what we do, similar grip, you curl it in. When you curl it in, your goal is to curl up in a tight little ball and then also flip upside down so your knees come above you. So it looks like this. When I'm here, I straighten my arms. I've got a little bit of slack, so I lower myself down until it's my hips on the fabric. And from here, I can either just hang out, hip hang, and then start to drop down and take it again. It's up to you, but just that same grip each time. A little hug around to wrap once. Flip the knees up. Oh, so close, so close. Yep, you can push your feet into the fabric to help that last little inch. So the one thing here, you are afraid to let your head go back down. I think your arms are curled in. Let your arms straight. Yeah, because you were there, but it was just your head was like, nope. Good.
Got it. On my stomach.
Oh yeah, if you land on the wrong spot, it doesn't feel good to just come back out. Yeah, it has to be right on the hip bone. Okay, let me saw you. You're like strong enough to get there, so it's a different round. Yeah. Hug around the outside. Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Free my arms.
Once you're, yeah. Go down. Okay, just set it directly. That's it. Nice last.
No.
That's okay. That's okay. Yes. Nope, you're going through the inside, go through the outside like a hug. Yeah, think of a hug for your fabric each time. So those that are not going to it, the flip way, the way that you'll get into your hip hang is come to stand, take the fabric across your hip bones. You'll ease down to downward facing dog. Walk yourself backwards. There you are. So make sure it's across hip bones, not the belly. Otherwise it gets very uncomfortable. Good. Sometimes one of the fun things to do once I'm in this shape is to let my knees be bent and kind of just wag my tail left and right. That brings my whole side body into a stretch, and it even kind of pulls up to those shoulders. So that's an option. Those that are comfortable with the feet lifting off the ground, you have an option here to let the feet wrap around the outside, so toes around the outside of the fabric. Yep, just like that. And then walk yourself backwards, kind of like a handstand. It brings a little bit of shoulder strength to do that one. You get to choose how long to stay, eventually just dropping down is fine. Awesome. It's similar to any other inversion though. So if you're ready to come out before others are ready to come out, keep your knees tucked in. That's okay, just slowly drop. The only thing that happened was whenever you let your knees lift on that one, it slides right off your head. Yeah. If you want to try the little jump to come back in again, you're welcome to. Or if you're done, then you can just lay back. Yep, just like that. So when you're up, you'll be leaning back into the fabric so your head has time to get back into the rest. You got it. Good. So we've got the majority up. When you're resting out, let's take our hands behind the head. Let's bend our right knee. Sway your elbows toward that right side. Do another nice little shoulder stretch here. And straightening the right leg, bend the left knee, sway to the left. One more time each side, over to the right. Left. Good. Great. So walk back until you're pretty much standing up on your own. From here, right arm hooks on the left side, then left arm hooks on the right, so it's like a big X. Standing up on your own, bend at the waist. This will start to send each hand off to each side, so right hand to the left, left hand to the right. Don't let the fabric slip off your shoulder blade. So this helps to ease into a new kind of shoulder stretch. Just take a couple of good breaths right there. Lean back, circle the arms up. And we'll take it to second side. So left arm hooks first and then right. Stand up. Bend at the waist, lean forward. Good. Lean back, circle the arms up. Good. So from here, I did have a request to learn the jump into vampire pose from here. So if this is a little bit too challenging for you, don't worry. You can just come inside and do the same vampire that you did earlier. But the first step is just like at the beginning, come up to the top, wave your fabric out. So this time, you're going to take the center of that fabric, place it right at the base of your neck, kind of that spot right where it's turning into the shoulders. And then you'll start to slide it over your shoulders like that cap sleeve. As you walk a little bit closer, you can lean into the fabric and begin to slide the hands up each side. Left and right grip up high. Yes, you can kind of feel if it's got enough covering or not. Like as you lean forward, it's like, am I gonna slip out or not? And you can tell if it's completely wrapped in. So then from here, walking yourself back completely under plumb line, the flip would be bending your knees, hiking up like a huge spring, and then rolling all the way inside. So not everybody can get it every day, but just try it out a couple of times. It's a good core effort if not. Yeah.
Bring your arms back out. Oh, it's because it's high, but it's going to be harder. So keep it locked around this. Forward this. You have a question?
Yeah.
We go forward. Forward.
You can go forward. Usually it's most useful to use all your momentum to go directly up.
Yeah, so I think it's the height thing.
Yeah.
So
So
tell us. Okay. Up this
you're,
way.
yeah. So hips go back and you roll in.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. You're like so close. Just keeping it. Let me see if I can hear.
Yeah.
Once you all the way up.
Like that.
I think that's a little. But keep yourself leaning forward.
Oh, okay. That's it.
That's it.
Support.
That's it. Yep.
So awkward. Oh, oh. Parado,
So it does require a lot of core strength. So if you're not there, yes. That's it. Yep. Yeah. See, you're totally, when you roll in, it's just a Shavasana. Yep. Yeah. So that's the motion though. You got it. Totally. Yeah. Send me a request any day or whatever, and I'm happy to. Yeah.
That's the exact one I want.
That's the one. So those that want to be upside down any longer, feel free to be in your vampire. Those that are not ready for Shavasana, this is about the time we normally get into it. So go ahead and come from the outside. So just take that from the end of the fabric, take that 5 grips, and head inside. And by the way, I always have a disclaimer. You can always do Shavasana on the ground if you've had enough time in the air. So that's always an option if you want to. Staying all the way back. If anybody ever is rocking more than you want to, I can always stop you as well. But as we're heading toward this beautiful Shavasana, let your, at least for a couple of breaths, let your focus be on the exhale because that's where we release. So let yourself, I'm hearing it already. A couple of those, almost like a sigh. You're just letting some of that energy go. From here, let's gradually begin to start heading out. We'll start just by a couple of good deep breaths flowing through our body. Maybe start to allow arms to stretch to the back wall, shoulders wiggling left and right. If you're in the fabric, sometimes people will take a fetal position. So instead of rolling to your belly, you just roll onto your side. So one hip is stacked on top of the other hip. And then from there, you're able to curl in like a tight ball. Arch all the way back behind you. So it's almost like a cat-cow motion of the spine 2 or 3 times. I've been on one hip for a little while, so I'll switch to the second hip. Remember, try to keep the legs long, and that makes that way easier to the position. Good. Roll to the second hip. Go in, arch back. Let that same 2 or 3 times until the spine feels pretty balanced. When you feel ready to come up to a comfortable seated place, let's start to rise. Hands joined together in front of our heart when we're here. We think of our shoulders, how much tension we've been able to release. Even just working through fun things. So with that nice release, think back to the leaves and the trees. How over the coming months, they're gradually going to start letting go. So is there a thing or two in your life right now that it's about time to let go? If so, in these coming months, let the trees give you permission and receive that permission to let go. So with this idea to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we share. The sound of oh, deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.